What's happening, Creek Nations? Coach Abel here with your weekly video. Try to keep this as brief as possible. So if you're at work, at home, whatever, click that play button and just give this a listen. So that way you're informed on what's happening this week. Okay. Quick follow up on this. I want to thank everybody that helped out with this event. We received several compliments and accolades for how we did this tournament this weekend, and this was our first one. And I'll be honest, we didn't do it for the fundraising part of it. Even though there was some money that was made for our guys, we did it because the city, the area needed a tournament. The closest one this weekend was down in Taylor County, which isn't very close at all. So to all those that helped us out, to Miss Lindsay Brzoska and her family, and Mr. Willingham and Dr. Wilson and Ozell Wilson, and of course Miss Ashley Wade. You guys were impeccable. Our staff, our coaching staff was great. We couldn't have done it without all the help. It's a very daunting task to take on, and I know that I wouldn't have been able to survive without the help of the staff and the parents, and of course the kids. The guys did a great job. They got a little tired and cranky and a little whiny towards the end, but it was a long day. Uh, so I'm very pleased with how the event went. In terms of the football part of this, the record wasn't great. We'll be honest with you, but we saw some really good things out of these guys. And we don't do 7-on-7 tournaments because we want to win 7-on-7 tournaments. We do them because we can see what things we need to work on. We can assess our guys, take a look at who's doing this, who's doing that, who's not doing this so great, that's so great, and we can work on that in the future. And we saw a lot, and we're going to make those corrections this week throughout practice. So kudos to everybody. Great tournament. Won't be doing it again anytime soon, but again, it was just a really worthwhile experience, and I want to thank everyone for their time and their energy. Here's your uh, schedule for the week. It's going to work very similar to how last week worked. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, all the same, 6 to 8:40. Wednesday will be exactly like it was last Wednesday. We're going to meet with the skill guys a little earlier at 5:30 so we can hop on a bus and go to KCD. That's Kentucky Christian Day. I'll send you guys that information as we get closer. KCD is a lot closer than North Harrison, Indiana is, so that should be a better trip for a lot of us. Um, and then Friday is going to be like Saturday was this past weekend. Friday will be a 7-on-7 tournament. The guys that are not going to be invited to that 7-on-7 tournament alignment challenge will be expected to be at practice on Friday with some of the other coaches. Okay, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But this is the first Saturday, and not many Saturdays this season are going to be free. So the guys have this Saturday off in preparation for the season. Okay, let's talk about that 7-on-7. This is at Central Hardin. It's about a 50-minute trip. They start this tournament at 5:30ish, so we want the kids to be at Fern Creek by 4 because we want to be able to get beat traffic down there. What I will tell you is that we understand that this is a struggle because it's a Friday. I'm not sure why this school chose to do their tournament on a Friday, but it should be a good experience for everybody. But proper communication can solve a lot of problems. So if you guys are still at work, can't get off work, your sons can't get to school by 4 o'clock, we just need to make sure that's communicated so we can try to help solve that problem instead of just saying, oh, guess you can't make it. Okay. We can have other players pick them up, other parents pick them up, coaches can possibly work out that way. But we need proper communication if you guys can do that for us this week, if that's going to be an issue. Okay. But again, that's the Central Hardin Lineman in 7-on-7 Challenge. If your son is going to attend this, we will let them know no later than Wednesday of this week. Okay. The guys that are chosen to attend are guys that we think are physically ready, who are mentally, emotionally ready for this, and who have been dedicated and have been showing up the way they should. We're going to talk more about that here in a moment. Okay. But we're not going to reward some guys just based off pure, athleticism or talent or size or speed or whatever. We want to reward the guys that have been there. If your guy has been there the whole time and he's not one of these people that's chosen, it's not for any other reason than maybe he's just not physically ready to try. Okay, because these things can be pretty demanding, and sometimes guys, playing some guys when they're not ready can really be a detriment to their confidence level. We want to make sure that we're delicate with that. Okay, I believe admission is going to be $5. You're going to bring your own your own seating, all that kind of stuff, much of like what it was for our tournament this past weekend. All right. Let's talk about attendance. Attendance has been really good so far. However, we have been running into a small few, instances where it hasn't been so good. And most of you guys that are watching this video do a really good job of this. So I'm just saying this to kind of cover my butt and reiterate it. Missing practice is gonna lead to missing some games. Okay. And I think we all know that we've discussed that. But those 5 C's that we discussed at our meetings, they directly correlate to how the success of these players. And if they're not communicating absences, if they're not being consistent about being at practice, if they're not trying to take control of their own growth and development, they're never going to be successful, not just in football, but in life in general. So we want to make sure that you guys are kind of, pushing that home for us, same way we will do. But we had a few instances where some guys missed some practice for some not so great reasons. Um, and we're not done. We've been doing this for a long time, so we know what time the dentist closes. We know how many grandfathers you guys have that can get ill, and I'm not saying you guys, I mean the players, right? So keep that in mind, okay? And we're going to continue to reinforce that on our end as well. This Sunday is the senior retreats from 8 to 10. I'm going to tell the seniors more about that. Should be a fun day, a little pool party action. We'll talk to those guys sometime this week about that. Player dues are supposed to be due by the end of this week. Again, with proper communication, we can get in front of any issues. So please make sure that you guys are communicating with me if there's an issue with this. The website is back up and running. I want to thank Dr. Wilson for pointing out the issue that she encountered. But I think that issue's been resolved. If not, please let me know. If you don't want to order online, you can feel free to pay with cash or check, like many of you guys have done so already. Okay, the swag stores are open. I know one's going to close a week from today. The Metro Screen Printing store, the one that's our local guy, his will close in a few weeks on August 1st. Get your orders in. Okay, this is all about for you guys. We will have some hats for order as well. One shipment is coming in, and more of like the kind of the hats that I'm wearing here. But Coach Meredith has got a handful of hats that he's ordered as well that he's going to sell for $20. If you want one, feel free to come and stop in and grab one. Okay, but make sure you check out the swag. Good question that I received at the end of this past week. This differs from what the kids get, and this also differs from what the parents receive. If you are one of those parents that volunteered for us, you guys get a different little swag before the season begins. Okay. Sports physicals. Physicals have been rolling in. I appreciate that. We only have a couple of guys who have let theirs lapse, and they're going to get those things taken care of. I'll go ahead and tell you this form here that I've been talking about the last couple of videos. I'm probably just going to go ahead and be safe and print this out and give it to everybody, whether you've done this or not. If you've already completed it, just I apologize. Just humor me, just to make sure that I've got this. I'm going to kind of keep this form separate, just to make sure that everybody gets them done. Okay. The other thing too is the auxiliary forms. I'm going to send those back out. Last time I did, we had a handful of more parents complete them. We're only about halfway where we need to be. I need those auxiliary forms completed as soon as possible digitally. We will start holding guys out of practice and games if those forms are incomplete going forward. Okay. All right, last couple of notes here. Fundraising U. I didn't have a chance. I know I sent the message out. We have the copies of the letters. We've got the screenshots of who donated to who. Didn't have a chance to kind of give that out to the kids this week, so I am going to do that tonight at practice, and then tomorrow, your kids will receive a list of the people that donated to them, and then we're going to ask them to send mail letters or take a screenshot of letters or whatever they want to do, and send these letters to their donors. That way, there's a tax write-off there for tax purposes. Okay. We've talked about the ticket prices. Just make sure that you get the opportunity to order a season pass. You do so. I'm still right now needing at least one, maybe two more volunteers for this Sunday, July 25th, for the Lou City soccer game. And as a reminder, guys, you guys get the Fern Creek shirt and your season pass when you volunteer. Okay. Uh, lastly, uh, we're going to hold some guys out as the heat starts to kind of ramp back up. it's important that these guys bring their own water. Okay, we still have not gotten the clear to have communal water sources, and we have a lot of guys who think they're Superman that come through and don't bring their water. I don't understand how that's possible. More than likely this week we're going to stop. We're going to start. We won't start practice till every single guy has got some kind of container of something for hydration. Okay. Uh, this is about their safety. Okay, what we have here on the left is a urine chart. It just shows you the level of hydration. The general rule of hydration is for every pound lost after an event, after a game or a practice, it's 20 ounces of water that need to go into their body at the end of the day. So the smartest, safest way to do this is they weigh themselves before they leave for practice. They weigh themselves as soon as they get home from practice, and whatever the differential is, that's how much water. That's how many 20-ounce bottles of water they need to pound down before the next practice. Okay, just keep these things in mind. Help us, help them. Practice dress code the same. Hopefully, you guys are already on the app and you've subscribed to the channel. Hey, hope is greater than fear. Here's hoping for a great week. Holler at me with questions. Coach A will out.